I recently did a video where I spoke about gender biases and the fact that like women hate on men and then the men will criticize women and it doesn't do you any good. You know, we're all human beings. And I think there's toxicity on either side. There's you know, there's bad women, there's bad men. And I think this tendency to attack one or the other just based on your gender, I think it's incredibly naive and really dangerous anyway in general in society, because it's one of those things where similar to racism really, where it just swings back and forth. One becomes the victim, the other one feels aggrieved. It's tit for tat, and then there's no blending, there's no merging. None of it makes sense. But a video's just come out, and I wouldn't say it necessarily triggered me, but it irritated me, and for specific reasons, for very specific reasons. A woman, I'm going to get into it in a minute. It's not really a video though. It's like 7 seconds, and it's all this nonsense where they try to shame men. And they try to shame men in the most pathetic of ways. And I couldn't help but think, how superficial and a joke are some people. Like, literally, it's ridiculous. So I just show, I'm not even going to press play because it's only going to play music. 7 seconds, they're not doing anything. It's just a title. And then it's really the people's comments after. And I just thought, how shallow are so many in the comment section of this? How shallow are the women in this comment section? And that's not women overall, because there's a lot of mature women, people that can handle life and see things from different perspectives. These very naive, insecure, self-entitled women, they are not the ones that I would want to be near anyway. So like, so stay away from me for starters, for sure. Because these are the sort of people that expect you to give them everything in life and they don't have to do anything. It's that self-entitlement. And I speak an awful lot about that. If you want to be wealthy, make yourself wealthy. Don't expect that from your partner. Your partner's there to support you, cherish, love you. It's not for them to provide you the life you want. You go and do that yourself. And I think there's too much of this where a lot of women expect that of men. So one minute they want to be liberated and they want freedoms that they've never had in history, which is fair because everybody should be free. But at the same time, they want the stereotypical guy from history who did provide all of the things they want. So it's like you can't have everything your own way. It's like you either want a fair, respectful, balanced life in general, where everybody is treated as equals. And in that case, you are responsible for your life. You can't expect other people to give you what it is you seek. You've got to do that for yourself. It doesn't matter what gender you are. So fundamentally. The other side of that, of course, is you can either seek a shallow, superficial man who doesn't have life experience and perhaps what you would perceive as baggage, and pursue the ideal situation rather than the ideal partner. Because that's the thing. Your ideal partner may have things in life, and it's like, can you handle the things they have in life? And if you can't, that's fine. But you may be foregoing someone who's absolutely perfect for you, but it's just not wrapped in the perfect package. Or you can go attract towards the person who has the perfect package, but they don't have they're not the perfect person for you. And at some point, life maybe take a detour, take a turn, and you're stuck with that person. Life didn't work out quite as you want because you prejudged someone who really you shouldn't have been prejudging. But who am I to say? Because literally, what someone does with their life has no bearing on someone else's if it's not involved. So it's like what you choose is of no consequence. Let's just get that out there. So here's the video. It's not necessarily about her per se. It's more about the comments. It made me, at first I just thought, like that, what? And then when I read the comments, it was shocking to me how many women are shallow. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. But again, they were just attracted to this content anyway. So whoever's attracted to this content in that sense, it's like, they're not my sort of person. I'm going to start off by saying I have a daughter. My daughter is my world. I've shared an awful lot of our journey through the trauma and the growth and the transition to transformation. She's now 15 years old, and she is my world and will be for the rest of my life. There's a good chance that I'd say 99% of the time when she needs me, I will drop everything for her. There may be extenuating circumstances, that 1%, where it's not reasonable to expect that of me. So I can't 100% guarantee it, but for the most part, I will. And if that offends someone and they don't like it, and they want to be the star, it's like, I'm not the person for you, and that's perfectly fine. I'm cool with that. So when a lot of people wonder where the nice guys are living their life and they're handling the responsibilities in their life. And if you can't handle that, go and find someone shallow who makes themselves the center of attention, who don't really care about anyone else, and figure out how that gives you. Because you might think, you know what, this is a lot easier. And then they just disrespect you throughout the whole relationship. Then you get abused, you don't get treated right. And then you come on inflaming the situation by saying how bad men are. And you're just thinking, maybe have a little reflection upon your life and think, you know what, maybe grow up. Maybe understand life isn't perfect and things don't get wrapped in the perfect package. You know, especially as you get older, you can't expect that. I can handle situations, you know. I'm not saying it's ideal, but you meet someone, of course, you'd love to have a complete reset of a circumstance. It'd be beautiful if the canvas was clear and you could just build an absolute perfect picture with this person. But it doesn't always come wrapped in that. So my previous relationship, they had a child. It wasn't the ideal situation because I already knew them beforehand. So I knew him about 4 years ago. Before that, I was in a relationship, went different ways, different jobs. Met again 4 or 5 years later. At that point, their child was, I think, just about to turn 3 years old. So maybe a year after we stopped talking, they had a child. And then you returned. This isn't the ideal circumstance. Like, this could have been us having a... But what do? Do you handle the situation or not? You take on the situation. If you love them enough, you take that situation on. So why is it acceptable for men to step up in those situations, but not for women? Now, this isn't all women, because I know there's plenty of women that do. There's plenty of women that do. But this trend on social media and the younger generation, it's just crazy to me. It's just ridiculous. Like, guys will get criticised left, right, and centre for being shallow if they don't take on someone with children. But how is it socially acceptable for it to be the other way around? There was a comment in here, and I'm going to show it. And straight away I thought, what? A lot of women validate that men are evil all the time through their own insecurities and experiences. And again, I've spoken in my previous video where I spoke about the gender bias. If you're meeting horrible guys, you've got to wonder where you're meeting them and how you're presenting yourself and what limits are you exerting. You can't always, if you go on dates like 30 bad people, it's like, that doesn't say much about you, because how the hell are you in them situations? It's the same if someone goes into, is always in trouble and you think, what? Well, you're always in dangerous places. Why the hell do you go there? You know, if you want to attract, you're psychologically, you must be wanting to attract that because you've got no respect for yourself. How is it some people always find them in disrespectful situations and abused, and some people find the perfect situations and they have a beautiful life? Standards. It's like, it's standards. It's like, where do you place yourself and what are you attracting? So anyway, I want to start off by saying this because there was comments in here, and some of the people, especially guys, really, it was mainly the guys, saying do the guy a favour and cancel because he'd rather spend his time with the children. Don't waste his time. And I thought exactly the same. I can bet your ass, for the most part, it would take an incredible woman. So I'm not saying all the way through, but it would take an incredible woman to break through and integrate into mine and my daughter's life. I've been single for 8 years, not necessarily purposely. You know, there's a couple of people I've met along the way and I just thought they would be great. But I'm very picky about what my heart wants, but also what my daughter deserves. I'm not looking for someone who's a Barbie doll, someone who's wrapped up in cotton candy. I'm not looking for that at all. I'm looking for someone who can handle life and, appreciates the little things. Because, okay, it's maybe not an ideal situation, but my daughter is genuinely incredible. She's the funniest person I know. She's charming. She's compassionate. She's caring. She has more compassion and care for people than I do. You know, I could be quite stern, quite direct. She has far more sort of natural tendencies, really, to caring about people in general. So she is the best person I know. And I think for someone to consider that baggage, I'd be like, you have no idea how beautiful she is. You have no idea how beautiful she is. So, yeah, my daughter sees through people anyway. So it's got to work on all levels, isn't it? So yeah, the idea that someone meets you for the first time and thinks you should be falling at their feet. It's like, it takes a give and take. I'm not expecting someone to be. I'm not like looking to date for someone to just integrate and say, I need you to be the mother of my child. I don't need that. But at least be a best friend, and if it becomes stronger than that in the future, then that'd be incredible. But on the very bare minimum, be a best friend, be a friend, you know. You make it awkward. It's like, neither of us need that. And that's fine. You can go on your little journey. We'll go on our journey. And I can guarantee you, we're going to have incredible memories. And it's not that you've got to worry about that. Don't worry about it. It's like, it's cool. It's cool, man. I can do what I need to do in life. She'll always be there. And we'll have a beautiful life together. And it's like, to think anything negative of that, I think is incredibly mental, in all honesty. Because these people just living shallow lives. Literally, it's like, what is your purpose to any of what you're doing, Just dating for the sake of dating, and you think that's better? You live that life, man. I feel bad for you. Like, I'm not trying to be too critical here, but it's the idea that the superficial things in life are just more important than something of substance. Doesn't make sense. You're giving up on so many beautiful memories because you don't see it, because it's not wrapped in the package you expect. It's, like I said, I don't want just anybody, for me personally. So, yeah, when I see the comments. Before we get to the comments, I just want to show a little bit. I can't get the best videos because, to be honest, they're all over I was having trouble uploading them. It's like they dig deep in my TikToks for some reason. And I can't upload to YouTube because YouTube's just being a pain in my ass, in all honesty. So we're going to just go over to my TikTok, just to show a little bit of the relationship. Then we're going to go back over to the comments because I really want to show where people are in society and just think, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make it. It just doesn't. How can a guy be criticised for caring for their children and stepping up and being a father? Like, how is that a bad thing? You meet someone, and maybe they pretend and posture to have those qualities, but they haven't had children yet, and they turn out to be something you don't want. That's not going to be good. So you could turn someone down because they got children and they're a great parent, and you can see they take on all the responsibilities. They've stepped up. And yet they're making time to try to get their life, like to try and improve their life. They're trying to find someone to integrate in it, someone to cherish, someone to love. And they get ridiculed for it. Like, what hope is there in society if that's the case? So then you turn that person down because you think, I can't handle that. There's always problems. Look at you're trying to find problems that don't exist. And you'll find someone who doesn't have that. And what happens if you get pregnant, for instance? Or what happens if the person you're with, you spent 4 years together, and it turns out they've cheated and they've had a child with someone else? What do you do in that situation? You're going to feel incredibly insecure. That person has done everything. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to everybody, but that's incredibly deceitful. That'll mess you up. But yet someone's approached you with life and they've shown you that they step up, they're responsible, they can handle life. So you can trust them a bit more, surely. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it because there's so many scenarios where it backfires, You decide that that's too much and then life bites you in the arse later, Maybe you end up a single parent yourself. Karma's a bitch like that, You're criticising someone for being a single parent. Who knows why a relationship ends? It's not always going to be the guy's fault. It could be, often it's a mutual thing. It's like both have failed at somewhere. But sometimes it could be one or the other. You can't always say it's the guy. Just, again, that's that stereotypical gender role, It's like, it's unreal that it was always targeted at one gender. And you can look through society and you can see the issues, And it's not always guys. But then it's not always women. So that's what I'm saying. That gender attack is not ideal, but some people don't help themselves, When you see enough content, you start to gain an idea of it. But you have to step away from that and realize different genders, different people of the same gender have different attitudes. But anyway, like I say, you could end up picking someone who doesn't have the baggage, and then they're going to have, maybe you have a child with them, and maybe they cheat on you, or they do something, or the relationship doesn't work for whatever reason. And now you're stuck in a situation, you're hoping someone can actually see past the situation. But at the same time, if you are grounded, mature, responsible, you'll also recognize that you don't want just anybody in your life because your child deserves better. That's if you care about your children. That's if you can look beyond yourself for a moment. If you're looking for beyond yourself, then you'll start being picky, And I think it's important to have standards in your life. So anyway, the idea that a woman enters my life and wants to disrespect me or disrespect my daughter, you don't come anywhere near us anyway. You'd be fortunate to get into that dynamic. I'm just saying that, yeah, I don't let anyone just into that dynamic. That doesn't happen. So yeah, I could not give a shit if people look at that and think, anything negative towards it, because most wouldn't be able to offer what I want. It's just not going to happen. So I honestly, I could not care less. It's like my daughter is my world, and I'm just very fortunate to have been blessed with her. So anyone that sees a negative in that, it's like, you have no idea how beautiful it is. Anyway, yeah, crazy people. I'm going to just show a couple of videos just to put in perspective. Now, these are not going to be my best videos because, like I said, most of mine are dug deep. She's now 15 years old. As you can see by the content of this, she was tiny here. You know, maybe less than a year. I'm guessing. I can't be sure. I'm not sure about the sizes anymore. There's me playing for her at the park. And, you know, we'll go through it slightly, let it play, and you'll just see, I've been there from birth. I've always cherished the responsibilities. I helped her talk. I helped her crawl. I helped her walk. I was encouraging everything, play, teaching her manners, watching her grow up, have friendships, interactions with people. And like I said, she is the most beautiful person I know. And it's not because she's my daughter. She just is. So, yeah. I'm proud of her. To put it into context, they often say soulmates are not always romantic. Soulmates can be family members, it can be someone, it can be friendships and stuff. In that sense, she is my soulmate. You know, she is all I need in my life. If, like I said, someone incredible comes into my life, I'm open to it. Best believe I'm happy enough doing my book projects, doing the things I want to do with my time, her living her life, having her experiences, but always available for each other, you know? It's like, I'm blessed. And I think anyone that can't see that is, I think, a bit naive, because why would I seek this superficiality when I can just spend time with her? No, thank you. I'd spend time with my daughter, thank you. Thank you, though. Jesus.
I will never let you go.
Oh, that's all the way at the end. Why are we at the end?
You're my sweetest addiction. You're my strongest inspiration. And I love you. It's true. There's no mountain I could not climb as long as you are mine. And I thank you for being you. I'll be your best friend. I'll be your guide whenever you need me.
Hey, jingity jing. It's time to lick the donkey. Jingity jing.
I love you more and more each day. I love you more and more and more than I can say. You're my sweetest addiction. You're my strongest inspiration. And I love you. It's true. There's no mountain I could not climb as long as you are mine. And I thank you for being you. Been waiting for you all my life. You are my dream come true. You're the light in the dark, unsad world of mine. I'd be lost if not for you. And I love you more and more and more each day. I love you more and more and more than I can say. You're my sweetest
You know, I did a video. There's another video on TikTok, and I said she is my light in the dark. And even watching that video in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking,
Addiction.
I can be poor. You know, I can be physically poor, and people could judge you for it. But like with her, I'm rich. Money, what's that do? Buys you a trinket, buys you things that maybe think you have significance in your life. It's these moments that are the biggest blessing in life. So I say, I don't need someone in the middle of this. You can look at situations and think, why did this happen? I've said a lot in my books. You find my story. It's up to you what you want to believe. What people want to believe. I couldn't care less what someone thinks. In all honesty, like in that sense, I don't care. I know the reality. My daughter knows the reality. It's often said that like between the two parties, the truth is in the middle. Well, who's in the middle? My daughter. She's the truth. So if someone wants to come at me, for instance, and paint a picture of me and try to accuse me of anything, it's like, well, my daughter's getting older now. She's 15. She may choose not to talk about things because she'd rather just choose a life where she's not involved. You know, that's her. I wouldn't encourage her one way or another. That she can be quite defensive of me, to be honest. And it may one day she decides to talk on things. And people might look a bit stupid if they've tried to come at me, tried to paint me because they want to pigeonhole me as something just to fit their agenda. It all comes to, again, it comes down to that gender bias. It fits agendas. If you're coming at it abstractly, like with fair, balanced, we've just seen the relationship we have, the connection we have together. Any noise around that, it's just noise. Beyond that, you know, it's like I said, she's the truth. So someone that might come at me strong and go, no, you're this, you're that. It's like, I couldn't care less what you think. You're just doing that based on what someone's told you, and you wanted to think that way about me. That's fine. That's fine. That's not true though. But you believe what you want. And then if she decides to speak up in the future, you can look really stupid. But well done, kudos. You know, my world is her, literally. Like I said, if someone can handle the situation and they're happy to blend together and happy to build something quite beautiful, then I'm all for it. You know, I'm not saying someone would be second choice to her, but what I'm saying is it's going to take someone really, really incredible to match her in my life, in my heart. Not impossible, definitely not impossible. So that does mean, though, that I'm not judging all women as the same as this shallowness. Now, again, it could be due to her age, her lack of experience. It could be anything. Maybe she matures and grows up as she gets older. Maybe some of the women in here will grow up when we go through the comments. Maybe they'll mature and understand there's more to life. That's for them to learn. But meanwhile, the people who are already living a specific life, they're just carrying on with their own stuff, man. They don't care about this. It's like there's levels with maturity as we get older, you know? It's like, this is the thing. You see, it's put into context. This isn't judging specifically, but if you put it in context, you've got people that go clubbing, there are nights out, all these things. There's always chaos, there's always drama. You know, a lot of time maybe do something they didn't really embarrassed about, maybe. And then they wake up with hangovers. It's like the day's wasted. And then they're just like, all day is really just sat around. Like if you're on holiday, for instance, all just sat around a pool ready for the next night time. That's fine if that's what you want for your life. But people who are a bit more evolved, a bit more mature, realize that that's just like stimulants. It's a way just to distract you from life. You think it's exciting, you think it's fun, but really you're just distracting yourself from the superficiality that's in your life. You've got nothing of substance worth investing in. So you're just trying to distract yourself to feel like something's really interesting and fun. That's great. But you'll find the ones that actually have life settled are they find far more enjoyment in just getting on with the day and enjoying days out and enjoying time together and having experiences. And you find that as you get older, that is far more beneficial than the other shit. And the reality is you've got different standards of people in different parts of life. And it's like, I'm not interested in dating someone that's interested in going nightclubs, drinking all night and wasting the day and doing all this shit. That's not my vibe. So you can have someone that's really pretty, maybe someone's really attracted to me, and if they're living like that, you're definitely not on my level. Like in terms of the way I perceive life and what I want, that's not for me. Thank you very much, though. I do wish you well. I'm looking for someone who wants to live life. They like, you know, family is a lot to them. This life has more meaning, more substance. You can have intellectual conversations. We can explore the world. We can go on adventures. You can just see life, and you just see the beauty in what life actually is. And it's like that takes a very, very specific type of connection, I think. But that's what I'm looking for. Very rare 1%. The very rare 1%. So this sort of superficial stuff really doesn't really fit in with me and my daughter. But that was unnecessary. So look, I said this at the beginning, like, it's not for me to provide wealth to someone. I don't judge someone based on their finances and things like that. Again, it's all about their mindset, who they are, their intelligence, all these things, their standards in life and things like that. That means far more to me. So if someone's looking for something else from me, that's like, I can't provide that right now, and I don't want to. I've always said I'd rather meet someone at my lowest, to be totally honest. I've always said that, even from childhood. Then I know I can trust them. You know, if you can't love me or appreciate me or my life at my lowest, then you don't deserve to be with me at my best. So people that just jump in and on the bandwagon, it's like, that's not my vibe. So this was Christmas we just had. It's Christmas 2024. Now I got my daughter a few extra bits, but I'm just trying to show like the things that happen. Like, you know, I'm going to show you. Have you seen some images and videos of me and my daughter? There's a lot far more than that. I'm sure those ones I might only got to when she was 14. Obviously, she's evolved a lot. Every year now, she's evolving an awful lot, becoming a young woman. It's quite beautiful. But yeah, this is the thing she likes. So she's really into Spider-Man. So a lot of girls are. It's not just a boys thing. A lot of girls are really into Spider-Man. She likes some of the female singers. Is it Olivia Rodrigo? These are new to me. I'm learning from her. She wanted a makeup mirror. She wanted a hairdryer because she used her sister's one, her half sister. She loves Gremlins, so I managed to get her a Gizmo Teddy thing. I thought it was a bit expensive for what it is, but it's like everything to her. Whenever she's here with me, she goes mental for it. So it's like it's worth every penny for that. It's like, what does it provide her? Not necessarily what I think is of value. Anyway, that's just some of the presents she got. It's not. I don't go mental. It's like, she doesn't. Our life isn't based on like the material, but I tried to make her happy, and I do all this myself. So, do I need someone to provide for her and me? No, I'm not looking for that from someone. I just want to be in love with someone, have experiences with them, and like I said, if they can be a best friend to my daughter, then that'd be incredible. And eventually, over time, if it becomes more than that, and maybe someone they can truly confide in, and it becomes more of a parental figure, that's even better. But I'm not asking that of someone. I'm not asking someone to take on all responsibilities. I'm not asking someone to pay for things. I'm not looking for any of that shit. So if you have money, I'm not looking for your money. Keep it in your pocket. But eventually, if as time goes, you become merged as one. I think that's beautiful, isn't it? But too many superficial people in this world, and it's quite crazy because they start to create a bias and then they start to judge, and it's just crazy. So let's go through the comments. You've seen a little bit here. You've seen my daughter. Like I said, best person I know. She's far better than me. So let's go over to the side here. Let's go through some comments. So to start off with, actually, let's read what she said just to get it off the chest. You will never get the ick as much as a single woman in her 30s. Some guy I'm meant to be going on a date with tomorrow has kids and said he was doing dadmin. I'm guessing that's like admin, but dadmin. So like you doing dad stuff. What's wrong with that? He's trying to put a whimsical spin on it. I think I didn't understand it. I just thought, what's bad about that? You got a man taking responsibility of the things he's responsible for. Really, he's being a role model in his children's life. So he's actually there for them. What the, today, and now I want to cancel the date. What do? Cancel the fucking date. Are you dense? Like, I don't want to be horrible here. Like, I sort of come across spiteful, but it's like you really need people on social media to tell you what to do. Like, if you can't figure that out, you definitely shouldn't be around children. Like, you definitely don't have the ability to be a role model or take responsibility. I know it's a bit spiteful, but come on, man. Look, today, I don't know. I want to cancel the date. Then cancel the fucking date. What do you need permission for? You bloody idiot. Like, that's what he's coming across as. I don't care how I come across. Believe me, I couldn't give a shit. I'm not looking for everyone to love me. I don't seek it. I'd rather keep people. I do things purposely a lot of the time to keep people away from me. But you believe that? I'm quite stoic. I have a real silly side, like a fun side that lights up around the right people. You'll get a completely different vibe. If you reach my inner circle, I am completely lighthearted. You'll see me just like, I'll be having fun. I'll be silly. It's ridiculous. You'll just think, how the hell can this guy have so much intelligence and have such a strong boundaries and all this other side when he's so light and fun and silly? Like, how the hell could he transition from that to that? And you'd be surprised how fast I literally switch, So for the right people, I can be the life of the party, be fun. For the wrong people, they just get this real like stone wall, obsolete person, the person that just piss you off entirely. Because I don't want I literally couldn't give a shit. If the people are not in my circle don't like me, I could not care less. I don't want you to like me. For the most part, I want the boundary. I get attention. Like if I'm on holiday, I get looks. You know, I'm recognised as I get older, I'm getting more handsome. Not asking to be handsome, I'm just naturally getting it. Some people are going to say, "Oh, you're not." I'm not here to popularity contest. But I know when I'm getting freaking looks. I was in the these were young, it's hard to say like young women, girls, whatever you want to call them, because they were like mid 20s, early 20s, and I'm 30, I'm 42. Like so, this was last year. I'm 41. I don't need that shit. And I could say they just would not take their eyes off me. They were two, and they were getting a bit of a reputation for the fact they like older guys and shit like that. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, that's how I was thinking in my head. Oh, for fuck's sake, like, I didn't come on holiday for this shit. I don't need this. I don't want to tell someone I'm not interested. Just leave me alone. I did everything I could not to get attention from these people. They would not stop looking at each other, laughing, smiling at me. They even started sitting by the pool and started laying around. You know, I'm just trying to hang out with my family. You know. But my daughter weren't there because she's, you know, she hasn't come on holiday for some reason. Mum won't give her a passport. It's a whole dilemma with that shit. So there is things to work through, and that's it. So, believe me. But she's getting older now, so she's free soon. Free in her life. But anyway, I've got all that going on. I'm just thinking, Jesus Christ, like, just don't. I would not give them the eye contact. I was stoic as shit. In the end, they did. They was talking to my mum, and I thought, oh, for fucking hell, like, what are you doing? Like, Jesus, I'm not even showing you any indication I'm interested. I'm not looking for those superficial moments, you know. I am a parent. I'm a father. I take that shit serious, so I'm not interested in none of that. You're picking at the wrong person, you know. So, like, a lot of guys would have just jumped it because they're really pretty, you know. But I'm not here for that life, man. I just don't want it. So, again, you can stereotype guys all you want. You can say this and that, but not all of us are the same. Some of us just have standards, and with certain things we want in life, and it's like that doesn't fit what I want. Just making that clear, really. You can sit and judge guys all you like, but you've got to realise some guys just don't give a shit about your judgment. It's like, mate, I don't care. I've got more important things to do in my life than worry about freaking superficial relationships. But anyway, let's go through the comments now after we've seen that. So, I mean, I think mainly the positive comments to a degree, it's really weird. Mainly it's the guy supporting the guy and the women supporting the woman, but there are a couple of women that do support the guy. It's again, this is that stereotype. But gender bias, and I never understand it. Like, why can't people just like see the realities of shit? I don't see the point of mocking to a degree, although I guess I've mocked a bit here. So someone's put, I mean, he cares for his kids. That's a green flag. And then, like, I don't want to swear, but I'm going to start swearing soon because these women are fucking idiots. So the guy put, I mean, he cares for his kids. That's a green flag. And then the woman commented, said bare minimum. How do you know he's, from that comment, from the context of this video, how do you know the guy's doing the bare minimum? Women always think, they've got it in their head that they do everything and most guys are a waste of space. Again, that's just stereotyping people. That's just stereotyping people. Throughout the relationship with my daughter, like, but growing up, I've shared a lot in my books. If you want to learn the story, you go through my books. Go through my books. You can judge all you like, but most people don't want to go that deep. Most people don't want to go that deep. You don't want to. And even then, you'll start picking at things. If you go in immediately saying, I favour the woman, you pick apart everything and you say, you'll favour them. You'll say, oh, they must have done that. There must be a reason. No, some people are just that spiteful and vindictive. They've literally got narcissistic tendencies. So they literally do everything for themselves with no care about the collateral damage. That's what I was dealing with. So you can sit there all day long and make an excuse as to why they did it. The excuse is really just they did it for themselves. They hid a relationship behind my back, behind everyone's back. They relocated all the way up north, the vast distance, displaced my daughter from everyone she loves, everyone she knew, all friendships, all family, all because she found this new person. It was exciting to her, and that's the life she's built. Funny enough, since then, she travels back to our hometown every holiday she can get, even when my daughter doesn't want to. For instance, there was a time when I wasn't coming because I couldn't have, I don't know what I had going on. It was like, but we never planned on that. It's like you get the half term sometimes, and it was like, we was only going to get 2 or 3 days anyway, and it was a lot of havel. And my daughter had like, she was staying over with friends anyway, like she had things, and we was fine with it. And her mum wanted her to travel, and she was like, no, I'm not going. And she goes, oh, come on. She doesn't even want to be there anymore. This is years later. She's built a life that she doesn't even like. Like every holiday, she herself wants to get away. I don't want to go on to someone's relationship, but this is not the relationship she dreamed of. And she's got to live with the consequences of that. So at that moment, when she caused the chaos, it was worth it because it was exciting. It was new. Now I'm sure she looks back and thinks, that's a lot of, I wish I hadn't done all that because I've got to live with the consequence of this because I'm not someone that shuts up. You ain't going to get to hide with this shit. You're not going to take my name and expect me to be quiet. That's not going to happen in this lifetime. So people that come at me, best believe I will talk on it. So you just got to be strong enough to handle it, because I will talk on it if I think it's going to help other people. So I shared my story. Again, people can want to paint a picture how they want, but that's the shit we've been through. Now, I've been there the whole way. So when you can sort of paint a guy as like, he's the problem, maybe you can be a problem in a relationship because you can take things whatever way you want. When it comes to my daughter, like, I've already spoke about it. She nearly got aborted. It was only the last minute. My ex-partner, she decided to change her mind, but she said it's like I have to do everything. She's doing it for me. Okay, and that's why so when I say I did everything, and people might not want to believe that, it's like I couldn't give a shit what people believe. Could not care less. You saw the images there. I'm with her all the time, but even then, I don't need someone to believe me or not. That was what was told to me. You need to do everything if we're gonna have this child. I was there doing everything. I'm not saying her mum didn't help, but she wasn't always available. A lot of times she was always distant. She'd always go in the garden. And that's really the downfall of the situation anyway. It was always, the relationship was in downfall for a long time, way before the breakup. You know, I was trying to put everything together, trying to keep the family dynamic together, all these things. But I'm the evil one, whatever you want to do. You know, I just don't care. So, yeah, like I say, I did everything. I was the one that was always available. I never neglected my duties. And me and my daughter, as a consequence, have an incredibly beautiful relationship. But yeah, anyway, if you want to paint guys as the bad guys, that's fine. You know, it fits your agenda. Go for it. So anyway, so one guy's being picky over 30 last night, laughing. Well, you can be. Everyone has a right to pick the life they want. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Nobody wants single dads or single mums. They can marry each other. Again, that's the people that just live in the superficial life. It's like, again, that's what they're saying. So that's fine. But again, what makes you think you're ever going to be in a perfect situation? And it gets harder and harder to find those situations. But even then, it's like, these are usually very selfish people who can't handle like anything beyond themselves. So when they're talking about single parents, again, in the ideal world, you'll have a relationship and a love of your own. So you have children of your own. But when you think about it deep enough, and I understand that because I always want a child of my own, and it means a lot. Doesn't mean you can't love someone else's child. I think it comes down to their parenting. From experience, I couldn't walk into a situation myself, and this is me being transparent here. If someone's got a child that's unhinged, like literally there's no boundaries set, there's no rules, they're completely disobedient, I'm not getting involved in that shit. That's not my problem. I'm not getting involved in it because a lot of the time the parents so for a child to be like that means the parent has no control anyway. So where are the standards, for starters? Second of all, they tend to get very defensive, which they have every right to be defensive when it comes to their child, but that means you can't really integrate and fix the situation. If someone has a very balanced, mature child, someone who is respectful, then you can absolutely get on board, and there's no reason you won't love them. The more you spend time together, the more you get connected. You actually you feel protective of them too. So I don't think that's the case that you can't care about them. It's the same way if you think about like how an auntie is with their children, with their nieces and nephews. Aunties and uncles, a lot of them really cherish spending time with them. It's the same thing. It's not their child, but they care for them. And it's the same with a step parent. If there's a relationship there that can be built. But again, I think that comes down to the children. The children have a huge bearing on that dynamic. Now, people have their own opinion on that, but from experience, I'm saying that like I can step into it, even though I have a child of my own. I can blend families together, but it'd have to be something exceptional, to be totally honest. But again, I'm more than happy to be alone, man. I don't really give a shit. Single woman in her 30s, red flag. What the fuck? How is that a red flag? Single woman in her 30s, red flag. How's it? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Life gets away from most of us. We have experiences. Maybe you've gone to college. Maybe you've gone to university. Maybe you've started working. Maybe you've been traveling. It ain't hard to get to 30 and still not had a relationship or anything significant or had children. Why must everybody live the same life? A lot of time life begins, I think personally, life really begins in your 40s because you've got a lot of life because it's the experiences that mold us, you know. So I think when you get to a bit older, you're sort of like a bit more grounded and you can sort of like, you've got a more experience to draw upon perspective. So you start to figure out really what the things are important in life. But when you're younger, you're still figuring it all out really. So maybe some of these people have got opinions now, but it's likely to change in the future. Otherwise they'll just get left behind because life keeps moving forward. But I think a single woman in her 30s, red flags, mad. Oh yeah, someone else said something similar because she didn't find the right. I think it's the same person who criticised something else actually. didn't find the right person, or because she focused on education, is a homebody, never came across anyone, that's a red flag. But a woman who's been run through 100 times and gets together with the 100th guy isn't a red flag. Laugh my ass off. Exactly. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Wow, someone's arguing with emotion. Some people are patronising. Most women would rather be single forever than spend a day with someone in a weird night costume at a theatre. Nah, that's just stupid. That's weird. Oh, for God's sake. I find that weird, where people take exception to people's hobbies, interests, and just the things they like to do. Again, a lot of these women, the ones that come along saying that, these are the ones that are superficial. Everything's glamour. I think if you're criticising someone for having some sort of other interests, I think it's good to be goofy. I think it's good to be silly. I think it's good to have things that make a bit strange. I think it gives people character. I always say that, like, the things that people see as flaws are usually the things that make them endearing. It's the things that set them apart. So I think picking apart the things that make someone unique, I think, is just sad and pathetic. So the fact that this guy's dressed as a knight or something, I think that's just interesting. Like, what the hell? Why are you dressed as a knight? And it's like, that's cool. That's different. I mean, that's good. So I think a woman picking apart of that, it's like, what would you rather do? Just sit there and try and act all pretty and just sit still and maybe got both. I'm not trying to paint a picture and be that cruel to someone, but a lot of them like that. I like that. It's like this Desperate Housewives shit, the Kardashians and all that. It's like, who wants that relationship? How boring. To me, that's boring. There's no personality. You might as well just have nothing. You just be like a statue. Yeah. Glamour, should we call it? Nah, not for me. I ain't into glamour. I'm not going to be able to scroll, I don't think, because it keeps changing the video. Right, you clearly have too many options. How are you single? And someone put, you clearly have kids. But what's wrong with having kids? I don't get that. They're trying to mock someone for having responsibilities in their life and having a love that is eternal. Some parents are distant from their children. They never took responsibility and they got regrets, or they don't care. That's one side of it, of course. But some of us have an incredible connection with our children. And it's like, these people couldn't even understand, they couldn't even comprehend it. So they're trying to validate their shallow lives by mocking people who actually have a connection that's unconditional love. Something many don't actually have. Most people don't have unconditional love in their life. You see them come from maybe toxic families. They don't have the dynamic. They churn for the crave. So they always seeking validation from their parents. Always seeking approval. I don't seek approval from anyone, but some people do. They go through the whole life. That's why you see it when someone's like, I haven't seen my natural father since I was about 4. I don't know. He tried reaching out. I wasn't interested. And as I got when I was older, still not interested now. But, I see a lot of people, they crave that. They're still searching for the long lost parent. They're hoping they can run into them and say, I love you, because they just want to be loved. They need that validation. From my point of view, why do you need that validation? If that person wasn't there for you when you was growing up, or when you feel you needed them, what makes you think they're going to be there for you throughout your life? And, why do you need that? Why can't you find that in yourself to love you and not really worry about how someone else perceives you? There's a lot of insecurities people carry, So I think to then sort of judge people who actually have unconditional love because through a child of their own, I think it's very weird to me. It's like you could try and mock all you like, but it's like, nah, I'm rich. I'm rich. So the way they're coming across is very poor-minded. Not poor money. Who gives a shit about that, though? Money comes, money goes. Who cares? You can buy so many things to distract you. Dadmin is completely fine and kind of funny. What you should do is stay single and enjoy your life. Exactly. If you're not ready for a relationship or that sort of commitment, no one's saying you can't be superficial and just have. No one's. When I say superficial, I'm not trying to say it in a really negative, demeaning way. It's like, yeah, do what you want for your life. If that gives you happiness, then fine. But I think for most people, it just papers over an insecurity. Personally, I think you go through periods where you want your freedom, of course, But I think there's a period where it gets to the point where you're seeking something you don't really know what you're seeking. You're pushing away great opportunities because you're not ready for it, or whatever it is. But I think criticizing people who actually have a life, literally have a life of significance, they've got things going on, I think it's quite strange. Someone's put, I don't get that it's an ick, but don't cancel the date for it. I get that it's an ick, but don't cancel the date for it. It's just the type of stuff that feels like an ick before you get to know the person. Every single person does icky things, but most things are only icky if you don't know their lore. Have fun on the date. Someone's put, "Can I date with you?" At least he's not. At least he's not saying babysitting. So someone's put, "For his sake, so he doesn't waste any precious dad time on you, just cancel." And that was actually a woman. And I was thinking the same thing. And someone's put, "Oh, that's funny." But not to that comment to the video, "Oh, that's funny." I'm not sure what she means. I don't get that. At least he's involved. I'd see that as a possible green flag. It's the ones who have kids but do not dadmin stuff that you should be worried about. Exactly, because it's the ones that don't take responsibility are going to end up screwing you over later, either in a relationship or if you was to have a child with them, you're going to find yourself that single mum and you don't have anyone to confide in, whereas you could have built a life with someone who actually is accountable. I'm not saying that person is or isn't, but turning down opportunities really with someone that could actually give you stability. But again, each their own. What's wrong with dadmin? If anything, it's a sign that he, one, spends time with his kids, bare minimum, but still a plus when the bar is thingy. Two, might have some fun dad jokes, and those are cute and light-hearted. Why do they keep saying the bare minimum? Is that what dadmin is? Dad minimum? I think it means admin, like dadmin. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting the wrong gist of it. I don't really give a shit, though. Someone's put, "Just cancel, hun. Always cancel at the first sign." I mean, obviously, your intuition is important, like whatever your intuition says, really. But he's clearly just having a laugh. Give the guy a chance. Some people have unrealistic expectations. That's really the whole point of this, isn't it? It's like, yeah, oof, I think you better cancel for his sake. No way should he have to put up with this. Exactly. I'm thinking the same thing myself. Try not to say it, but he deserves better. Sounds like he just has some kid business to deal with. What's the problem? Exactly. Dadmin is so funny, though. The way some people actually like the term. Cancel, he can do way better. Exactly. Do him a favour and cancel. He deserves better. That's not trying to over-criticise her. Like, she might mature as she gets with age, a bit older. Maybe she's just clearly not ready for that connection or that situation. And the children don't deserve to be treated like they shouldn't exist. You know, that's not going to help anyone. So if you can't handle it, definitely stay away. And maybe put in your biography. Maybe if you're looking to date people and you're doing online dating, just put on there, "I don't want kids." And, just don't waste people's time. Do him a favour, cancel, he deserves better. It's a thing to date people and be introduced to them to your children. I don't even let my men come to my house. Is it a thing to date people and be introducing them to your So yeah, they're single, a bit like me. Well, same as me, really. I've been single for 8 years, so 35 here. I've given up on dating. It's too scary. It's just not worth the hassle for the most part, is it? It's frustrating as shit. Cancel. That was a class dad joke. He deserves someone that appreciates it. Exactly. Cancel the date. He's probably a great guy that deserves a lot better. Someone's put, "It's a joke." I don't know. Oh yeah, I think you mean by the dad means a joke. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's a joke. That's funny though. Sounds like a fun guy. Dad that's open. Although she put a mushroom at the end, so I think she's taking a piss. Dad that's open about him having kids and actually having his kids. Green flag. Why are people in the comments acting like 30 years old? Yeah, I feel that would ick me a little bit. Still go through and see what it is like in person. Why would it ick you? Walk away, deserves better. Hell no. I'm with you. Why is it actually so cute though, dadmin? Some people just put laugh emojis. I'm not really sure. I'm picky, so I'd cancel it. Well, you can be single a lot. Yeah. I mean, I just think personally, if you're going to be that, I'm not saying people should take on other people's lives, so there's levels, but I think it's the fact that if you say you're that, if that's a problem, it's like, I don't understand what you're looking for then, because I think the idea that you meet a knight in shining armor who has their life together is quite crazy, because every year that goes by, there's a chance the person you're going to meet is a year older, because people are naturally attracted to certain age groups, and for most people, it's going to be similar to age. So let's say you're in your 30s, everybody's got kids, and you're thinking, no, I'm not. I just want someone who's single, doesn't have kids. I don't want someone that's got kids. And all you keep meeting is people with kids, and you think, no, I'm still going to meet this person. I'm still going to meet this person. But the problem is, the older you get, the more chance that everybody's got kids. You might you might get lucky and meet someone that doesn't. If that's the main criteria for you, is that they don't have kids. I mean, that's losing out on an awful lot of opportunities with people because of their circumstances. Where it's not the worst thing in the world. You don't have to get involved in all the drama. Like if I'm with someone and they've got kids and they're with someone else, like obviously they've got. It means that the dad's obviously. If they're involved, for instance, I'm not getting involved in any of that shit. I was like that with my ex-partner. I'm not. It's not about being scared of anything. It's understanding my role. That's not my business. You mature. You be mature. You handle that, because I don't have a relationship with that person. I'll take on everything that the children need at home and in daily lives. But when it comes to the dynamic between the children and their father, for instance, that's none of my business. I'm not getting involved. I spoke to him a couple of times, but it wasn't. I just always knew it doesn't matter, even if I do more than them in their daily lives, and I was doing more than their natural father. But when he turned up, it was like, that's their child, not mine. But in that sense, in my mind, there's like a hierarchy. Doesn't matter what I do, that's still their father. So that's none of my business when it comes to the dynamics. It's like, that's between you two. I take on the responsibility, but when it comes to that situation, that's between you two. I'm not involved in that. That was never me. And I think that's the thing to take from it, though, a little bit there, is that if you think it's too overwhelming, it's like, you don't have to interact with the mother, So like, if you're the female, for instance, you don't have to interact with that person's other side. It's like, you're just there to be with your partner, and when the children are with you, or if they stay with you, whatever, it's like you just have time together, And then it's up to him to deal with the other side. That's not your business. So it doesn't have to be that complicated. I think some people just see the drama, and it's like, if there's drama, it's not your problem, And there's no point getting into big arguments like that. Just let it go. Just enjoy the time together, Stop judging. Go on a date with him. If it was a single mother and a guy was talking like this about her, he'd be torn to shreds. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's always like, it's those double standards, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. I swapped numbers with a guy, and with 4 messages he mentioned sex. I didn't reply. It gave me the ick. I said, no, with him 4. I mean, yeah, that's a bit mad with him 4 set foot. Well, that would. That's so cute. I'd trip over laughing right into his lap. Don't date men with kids. Being a single mum is so hard. It's hard. So the mum obviously got rid of him for a good reason. This is the one. That's the comment that triggered me enough to do this video. That's the one that triggered me enough to do the video, because I just thought, these women are so entitled. It's a joke. Not all women, again. I'm not trying to stereotype, but some are just up their arse. It's a joke. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's always like, women can't do wrong. And I'm sorry, you see it all the time. You see it all the time where you get narcissistic women who just want to abuse their exes, and they just want to ruin their lives because they can't let go. There's women are like that. You can't say there ain't women like that. That's crazy. So the idea that a lot of women do that. I'm not saying all, but a lot of women do it. They'll make up lies and accusations just to hurt the other person. Like some seriously messed up lies. And yet some women just look beyond it, and they just think, we're all in it together. It's like, really? You're going to side with someone unhinged just because they're the same gender as you? You are fucking stupid. Have each other. Crazy. So the idea that, repeat it, don't date men with kids. Being a single mum is hard, so the mum obviously got rid of him for a good reason. Or maybe he wanted a better life for his children and saw the dynamic isn't working and it's not healthy. Maybe the mum, I'm not saying, it's all other alternatives though. Maybe the mum cheated. Maybe the mum's not, able to just care for the children because she's got issues. It could be anything and everything. I think just to hear that people are separated and just like pick a side is freaking dumb. Anyway, so someone put, because women never do anything wrong, we must remember that. That's a guy. I think that was a guy joking at, because women never do anything wrong. We must remember that. He's being sarcastic, and that same person who did the first bit one put correct smiley face. It's like, you fucking dickhead. She only wants dad ick. Yeah, give myself the ick. Yeah, gave myself the ick. Not really sure what that means. Same as when a woman has kids under 7. I don't get it. I think some people are just not mature enough for life, to be totally honest, let alone freaking take on the responsibilities of other issues. It's the thing is, like I was saying there before, like, when you think about it deep enough, yeah, you want the ideal situation, but how can you not have it in you to just like, I think the problem is people see other people's children as objects. They see them as obstacles. And I think that's where people are getting it wrong. You don't look at a situation and just look at it like it's in the way, they're in the way. If you're going to look at any situation like this person's in the way, even though they're innocent, I think you're just not coming at it from the right angle. That's not it at all. Sometimes you just got to look at the opportunity that's there. A family is already established. Like, you've got a family situation to walk straight into. And if that child, like, magically takes an interest in you, because not all children will, if they are able to, remove their defenses and open up to you, that's incredibly beautiful. And I think if you can have that connection, why would you hold it? Why would you hold anything against the child? It's like they're part of the package. It's not baggage. They're part of the package. So you could walk into that situation and think, yeah, I can help. I can help. I can step up. And now all of a sudden it's not like, oh, I only want this woman to myself, because you've probably just got sexual desires, in all honesty. If you only want them to yourself, then that's for your own gratification. If you can take away that side, you can still have those moments together, but maybe a bit more curated, I guess, more specific moments rather than just be feral. So now you've got more of a dynamic. And it's like, okay, so it's not, I don't just spend time with this person. Now we're just together. We'll just do things together, and it's fine. This is nice. I think you just got to look at dynamics. What do you want in your life? I think too many people got this perfect scenario, and it's like it doesn't match reality. Whereas if you can just look at it from a different angle and actually appreciate the package as a whole, you'll find it's actually quite beautiful. Again, if it's not toxic, but you won't know until you see someone and meet people, But yeah, anyway. Hope you cancelled. He's too good for you. Find another misery and let this guy live his life. Exactly. People that have got kids, they haven't really got time to waste with this shit, to be honest. They don't need any more instability. Don't date guys with kids, then problem solved. Fully grown adult, get in the ick, do him a favour and cancel. I wouldn't go. Run for the hills, comes with baggage. Could anyone here think of a single reason that this woman is single in her 30s? He has kids in his 30s, like you're meant to. Well, I don't know. I mean, not everybody's built to have kids, so I do get it to a degree. But I think this ick shit, and it's coming at someone taking responsibility of their lives, I think it's strange as shit. Cancel quick, do him a favour. He dodged a bullet then. Cancel, please. Lucky escape for him. Single in your 30s, yeah, you're past the best by date. So I don't like that sort of shit. Although I think statistically, men do become more handsome with age, and women do decline. Now, women don't like that, of course, but that's just nature. Women tend to be incredibly beautiful younger, and men tend to look a bit not so good for the most part. And then, like I say, men do tend to mature and get more attractive, and women decline. You got to make peace with that, which might be why sometimes you see guys they want. And it might be the case if you're going to go too much of a tangent. It might be that like maybe a guy hasn't been attractive when he was younger. Now he's attractive, so maybe he's getting more attention. Maybe that's why they gravitate towards younger females, because younger females are more now in relation to their handsome. It might be things like that. I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, there is a period of your life where maybe you decide you can be picky, but there might be a time of your life where you're not as desirable as you think you are. You still hold the same standard, and people are not so interested anymore. Not saying that's necessarily the case, but if they're going to be superficial, just going on by looks, because that sounds to me like what it is. I'm not saying 100% because that's me just stereotyping to a degree. But if it is based solely on looks, then they're going to have a downfall themselves because, like I said, women naturally decline. Not all women, but I would say majority of women, they do. And it's like, I don't know. Each what they want. I don't know. I mean, I just think I can't believe how superficial people are, Yeah, this is crazy. I can see this comment section getting even more unhinged. So in my YouTube video, I'll probably tag TikTok as well. I'm really not sure. Depends how much I share on TikTok, because I create my videos primarily for YouTube. Then I do cut snippets for TikTok. So it's only if I've used the set. I'm not sure if I'll add it on TikTok, because I don't want to split this on TikTok would be an absolute nightmare for me personally. So it might only be on YouTube, but I will link the video so you can go. I like to do that so people can see the comment section for themselves. This video's been far longer than I planned, but it triggered the shit at me, to be totally honest, because there's so many variations to this and nuances, and there's always going to be someone that thinks this, someone that thinks that. It's effectively though, when it all comes down to everything, it's like just live your own life. you know, what society expects, how people think. In the end, it doesn't really have a bearing. So I can get triggered there because I think that's insane. Like prejudging people and making decisions based on that. It's mental to me. But when it comes to my own life, like, I couldn't give a shit. You know, I know what I want for my life. My daughter deserves someone incredible. I want someone incredible. But I'm not going to lower my standards for me or her. And if something happens, if it's someone remarkable, then how lucky are we? And I don't really care what anyone else thinks of that, to be totally honest. So whether I'm single for the rest of my life and someone wants to prejudge that, make accusations, what do I give a shit? If I end up in a relationship and it's someone that actually blends perfectly, and people have an opinion on that, what do I care? You know, my life isn't about like people's opinions. I really can't care, in that sense. But I think sometimes you've just got to raise awareness sometimes to, I think, show people that, you know, your life is valid. And, you know, some people will judge you, but it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. But at the same time, some people have a lot of maturing to do, I think, and growing up. But again, it's like, what do you want to see in life? It goes beyond like someone having children. It can be all sorts of things, like even a holiday, for instance. Like I said earlier, you might have an expectation what you want to do on that holiday, and it might not align. There's some people that wake up early. They like fitness, they like sports, or they like thrills, they like activities. Some people just like sitting by the pool and they fight over the freaking sun loungers. Never understood that. Or some people like to go to the beach and do that. Or some people like go shopping. There's things for everyone to do, you know. I've never understood that sitting by the pool when you can go and sit by the beach. It's like, what's the point? You know, why fight over the chairs? That's so sad to me. Where people get up at like 6 in the morning to put their beach towel down on a chair and then they will fight over it and arguments ensue. And it's like, for me, that's too crowded anyway. Like, I don't like sitting around that many people. People are too nosy. I like my privacy. So I could only sit like that for like 2 hours. I get bored shitless. That's just me. So if someone that wants someone that just sits by the pool with them all day, it's like, that's not going to be me. I'm going to be active. I can't be sitting around doing that shit. It drives me mad. So I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's about compatibility as well, of course. But like I say, with me, I'm more than blessed in my life. So if someone doesn't see that as a blessing, it really doesn't change my life.